missed. And what we learn in the kingdom is that God's ways of doing things are just really, really different. Good for instance of this, at the convention I was at, Foursquare Convention, we sent from our church 8 people to help with the child care at this event because, just a long story, the lady who was in charge of it, many of you know Heidi Sheldon, she and her husband went and planted a church back there, and she volunteered to do the child care at convention because last year at convention, 30 kids were signed up for it all. Well, there was a mistake done in the online registration. Nobody kept track of how many kids were signed up. And come to find out, about 4 weeks ago, we discovered that there were 130 or 40 children who had been signed up when the preparation was ready for 30. Well, this is not going to work, and so Heidi called me with that. Now, I want to be very kind on it. She was near the breaking point. You know what I'm saying? There is a voice of, some of you have heard this voice before. Okay, well, so I responded to that and said, you know what, we're going to send you 8 people just that will help. And sure enough, these ladies went back there, and they were troopers from early morning until late at night. That's all they did. They went back. They didn't go to convention. They went back, and they did the children. And of course, this was a blow mine for so many people. And then we had a few volunteers that went back and worked in the resources booth as well. And, you know, everybody was trying to find out from these volunteers in the CTW, well, like, what do you do at the church? I wanted to know what their ministry was, and our volunteers just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, well, I don't know. I mean, I serve. And you could see that so many people didn't kind of compute, they didn't get it, because they expect if you're going to do something that you've got an identifiable role of some kind. Well, anyway, as the week went along, our team was pretty exhausted, and I found out they didn't want to acknowledge themselves that they were a mission team, because they thought that since we pretty much only send a person on one mission team a year, that if that was their mission team, they wouldn't be enabled to go on an international mission team. So I don't know what they thought it was, but this is not a mission team, until the end of the first day. And every one of them, you know, I went, so they were just slumped down, and this was the hardest thing, can you imagine, from early in the morning until late at night, because these Pentecostal preachers, they talk. And so it goes on and on and on. So they decided they were a mission team. But, you know, once they decided that, they've done VBS. First day, you think you're going to die. Second day, you're sorry you didn't die the first day. The third day, you're thinking, okay, I'm halfway through. And by the end of the fourth day, it was only a 4-day conference, and they're used to 5 days of VBS. And so they were really troopers. They did really well. So they became the talk of the town. So many families and young ministers were able to come to convention because childcare was provided. So we had way more of these 20 and 30-year-old pastors who were at this convention than we've had before. And the very last night, with all the fanfare of the, you know, how well, we can put on a pretty good, I mean, it was big thing. And they wanted to say thank you to all of the workers to come down. They showed a little video clip of all the children. These people, not just our 8, there were other volunteers, but we were the main, full-time people. They took 140 kids to the Washington, D.C. Zoo. Believe me, it was quite a zoo. They don't feed the animals and watch out for the kids. It was unbelievable. So the very last night, they wanted to say thank you to all these workers, and so there was a technical glitch, and when they were going to do it, it didn't work out to be able to do it. And when they brought all of these CM, or children's helpers, up to the front of this platform, 3,500, 4,000 people, I don't know, in this big arena, and these children's workers were being brought up, which I say praise God for that. Let's give, double on. Anyway, I looked, and none of our 8 ladies were in this group, and my first thought was, like it was a really bad thing. And then I remembered this verse, and I thought, don't look at things outwardly. Well, what had happened is that our group basically volunteered to go back and be with the kids because it was taking too long, and so they all went back, but in the kingdom they got a better reward than the people that got up front. And I don't just say that as some kind of a corny little, consolation prize. But the God who sees in secret is a God who rewards openly.